creating a news agenda that reflects an unbiased view of Asian current affairs without relying on external news sources. Asia Vision, Asian news through Asian eyes.
Hello and welcome to AVN, your weekly roundup of the news from around the globe. I'm Ahmad Imad, your host for the evening. The island of Gorée, off the coast of Senegal in the Atlantic Ocean, is at risk of being washed away due to rising sea levels, which are causing significant coastal erosion.
Crafted in the shape of the African continent, Gorée Island lies off Senegal's coast in the Atlantic Ocean. Once the largest slave trading hub in Africa, it is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, symbolizing a painful history with landmarks like the Maria Mova Education Center and the Door of No Return, where slaves were sold to the Americas and Europe. However, Gorée's legacy is at risk as climate change intensifies coastal erosion, threatening both the island and its historical significance. Rising sea levels and erosion could wash the island away.
Gorée is a small island, very small, and if we are losing land, it will go away. The people of Gorée will no longer have a place to live.
In response, the Senegalese government has launched a $14.3 million project funded by the World Bank to construct a protective wall around the island. We have a total of 102,000 tons of rocks that we have to make on the island of Gorée. We have a working period of 15 months to carry out all this project.
We have to do it regularly. If we don't, the work will have a lifespan of 10 years. So it's 30 years provided that it is maintained.
A visit to Gorée was part of the lesson at the Climate Change and Disaster Risk Reduction Summit, indicating the risks faced by such heritage sites across Africa.
They did the same project in Saly also, which is an island still in Senegal, and Saly was safe. So we believe if something is done quickly, Gorée Island will be safe.
The project began in June 2024 and is expected to be completed by September 2025. Engineers are using advanced techniques and durable materials to ensure the seawall's effectiveness, while also planning for long-term solutions to rising sea levels. Macpherson Mukuka, ZNBC News, on the island of Gorée, Senegal.
There's growing pressure on Australia's New South Wales state government to offer blood testing for the Blue Mountains community exposed to PFAS tainted drinking water. 3 people have had test results showing some indicators above the average of other exposed communities.
Catherine moved her family to the Blue Mountains for a cleaner, greener life. Then she started getting sick.
I had been unwell for many years with many different things, and I thought something in my house was poisoning me.
When it emerged she'd been drinking water with elevated PFAS levels, she had her blood tested.
I found out I've got extremely high blood levels and, well, they're dangerously high.
Catherine and her son both have levels that exceed some averages among the nation's most exposed communities. The initial contamination from the forever chemicals is thought to have occurred in 1992.
Basically, I've been away from here for the past 20 years, and I was here, in the 90s. I think it says that in the past, there were probably very high levels of PFAS in the water.
After seeing his own above-average results, Stop PFAS Action Group leader John Dee has engaged lawyers demanding government-funded screening. He believes the results could explain high cholesterol levels, which have a proven association with PFAS, but many can't afford the $500 test. An Australian study on communities exposed to PFAS found high levels of psychological distress, but its lead author thinks there's little benefit in testing small populations.
If people say, oh, I've got high cholesterol or I've got cancer, it's impossible for that relationship, to understand that relationship and blame it on PFAS.
New South Wales Health says there's not enough evidence to link PFAS levels to current or future health issues.
They're hoping that they can just say, oh well, the water's being treated now, we've got new water, problem solved, move on.
A community wanting clarity and support. Xanthi Gregory, ABC News.
Some Queensland citrus growers are struggling. After being hit by not one but two hailstorms this season, they're working to remove the damaged fruit from the trees to find out how much sellable product remains.
Some Queensland citrus growers have been hit by hail twice in the same season. They're now working to remove damaged fruit from the trees to find out how much sellable product remains.
Can't do nothing with them. There's nothing at all you can do with them when they're marked like that. I'm hoping I can sell a composite or a second grade and make $1 or $2 out of it.
The Roths are one of several citrus producers in the North Burnett town of Gayndah, 4 hours north of Brisbane, who have experienced hailstorms in recent months.
I come out there probably 3 hours after and there was still ice laying under the trees.
With 70% of his crop damaged, he was considering drastic measures.
I was nearly thinking of ordering a bulldozer because I'm close to retirement and just putting a dozer through it.
Most growers have decided to remove the severely affected fruit now, rather than sorting through the damaged citrus in the packing shed. Fellow grower Matt Benham was hit by hail twice.
Well, luckily it hit already, like trees that had already been hit. It would have been, we've got one farm that has fared okay. Would have been pretty devastating if it had copped it as well.
Citrus Australia says while it's a kick in the guts for affected growers, it's unlikely the hail damage will impact the overall citrus supply.
So we'll be down probably 50 to 60% overall, I'd say. But at the end of the day, it just sucks for the people that have been hit. You don't wish this on anyone.
Grace Whiteside, ABC News, Gayndah.
India is weaving its way into the future of global textiles with the BharatTex 2025, one of the world's largest textile exhibitions taking place in New Delhi. With sustainability at its core, this mega event is bringing together global leaders, innovators and industry giants to shape the future of textiles.
From raw materials to high-end fashion, BharatTex 2025 is a grand showcase of India's textile industry. But beyond business, the central focus here is sustainability, reshaping the global textile trade with eco-friendly innovations and responsible sourcing.
We want to demonstrate to the world that India is not just a textile leader, it has the capacity to produce at scale and sustainability, and it's a reliable partner. We have visitors from 120 countries. We have every top country in India exhibiting here. And our theme this year is Innovation Meets Responsibility.
With over 5,000 exhibitors and participation from more than 120 countries, BharatTex 2025 is a melting pot of ideas and trade. The event, organized by a consortium of 12 textile export promotion councils and backed by the Ministry of Textiles, spans from fiber production to fashion, home furnishings, and cutting-edge technical textiles.
As a student, I am getting exposure with a lot of Indian brands, getting to know, and as a fashion student, I am getting to know like internships where I have to do, like what type of like people I am getting to interact like with a lot of type people from different backgrounds, and it's really interesting.
We get more exposure here and how we are going to do in industry, and here every brand is different. They are showcasing themselves.
This year's theme, Resilient Global Value Chains and Textile Sustainability, is driving conversations across 70 conference sessions, CEO roundtables and B2B meetings. Innovations in eco-friendly dyes, biodegradable fabrics and energy-efficient manufacturing are taking center stage.
Textile industry has a big role to play. The industry in itself harps on future. So whatever we are producing today has to be sustainable for the future. And we are looking for something which is clean, which is fair traded, which is organic. And for this, we are making all the efforts because we have the control from the farm to the customer.
Blending tradition with innovation, BharatTex 2025 also highlights India's rich textile heritage. Fashion shows, trend forecasts, and product launches showcase the industry's evolution while staying rooted in craftsmanship. As the world moves towards responsible fashion and sustainable textiles, BharatTex 2025 is proving that India is not just keeping up, but leading the way. Akshay Dongre's report for DD India.
A Queensland man has embarked on a nationwide search to find a new home for his priceless film and movie memorabilia. He's hoping another cinema buff will carry on his legacy by taking in more than 120 years' worth of equipment and souvenirs.
Kev Franzi is a walking encyclopedia about filmmaking. The 94-year-old's property at Kenilworth in the Sunshine Coast hinterland holds a treasure trove of items he's amassed through decades of dedication, from a camera obscura to a working replica of a Lumiere cinematograph invented in the late 19th century. His father encouraged him to get behind the lens when he was a teenager, giving him this camera after a failed maths test.
You don't have to be brainy to be a photographer, he suggested.
He went on to work at a film studio in Melbourne, where a cameraman showed him his first motion picture camera.
He lit the spark of a lifetime's passion.
Documentary filmmaker, producer, director, historian, so passionate he and his wife created the Cinema Works Museum and Theatre.
32,000 people came across our first 10 years to see our shows.
They still hold monthly screenings for local film buffs.
He's forgotten more than I'll ever know. He's just a wealth of knowledge.
A university had been interested in taking over the collection, but the deal fell through. Despite the challenges, Kev is still confident he'll find a home for all of this movie memorabilia, ensuring there's a sequel to his incredible story.
It needs to be preserved because it is unique and there are some significant pieces
that set the scene for filmmaking through the ages. Jessica Ross, ABC News, Sunshine Coast.
Malaysia's vibrant culinary and cultural heritage is taking centre stage in India as the Malaysia Food and Cultural Festival 2025 begins in New Delhi. Hosted at Honk Pullman New Delhi Aerocity, the festival invites guests to experience authentic Malaysian cuisine, traditions and performances.
Malaysia is not only giving a new dimension to its relationship with India, but is also looking to develop a new identity for Malaysian tourism through Indian tourists. To achieve this, Tourism Malaysia Delhi has organized a 7-day Malaysia Food and Culture Festival in New Delhi. The festival was inaugurated by Malaysia's High Commissioner Muzaffar Shah Mustafa and the Director of Tourism Malaysia Delhi, Ahmad Johanif Muhammad Ali. Ambassadors from ASEAN countries, along with several esteemed guests from travel, hospitality and media industries, were also present on the occasion.
In collaboration between Tourism Malaysia and also Accor Group Hotels, we are bringing a culture and food festival in the Pullman Hotel. It's for a 7 days program that Indian public can come and savor different Malaysian cuisine, and there will be also a cultural performance. We hope that Indian public would get some glimpse of what Malaysia can offer to the Indian tourist.
Malaysian about the food. And then of course the food is one of the big things for Malaysian, because whenever they met, the first thing they will ask about, have you got your breakfast or you have had your lunch? That will be the first question when we meet each other. That's how big food to us, yeah.
Malaysia's cuisine is famous for its unique flavors and remarkable fusion. At this food festival, a perfect blend of Malay, Chinese and Indian culinary traditions is on the menu. The festival is a window for Malaysia to introduce its cuisine to Indian food lovers.
Last year, we received about 1.13 million Indian tourists coming to Malaysia. I think that the main game changer for that is when we make easy in terms of the visa for the Indian travel to Malaysia. So that means we have free visa. So that means it's much easier for the Indian travel to Malaysia. Currently, we've been connected to 18 cities in India and 3 cities in Malaysia.
The festival will continue until February 23rd, 2025 and will be made even more special with the Sunday brunch. The festival offers a fantastic opportunity for food, travel and culture enthusiasts to enjoy Malaysia's flavors and culture. Bureau Report, DD India.
A pensioner on Western Australia's south coast has won an inaugural Clean Up Australia award for his decades of work picking up litter. But 80-year-old Michael Philby isn't just collecting rubbish around his hometown.
In the forest near Walpole, a retired policeman is on the beat, looking for rubbish offences.
This area is paradise. We've got to keep it clean.
For the past 20 years, Michael Philby has been patrolling this stretch of highway.
If this had bottles, tins, McDonald's, would spoil this entire image. So we're heading north now towards Pemberton.
A 200-kilometre round trip he does every week.
Bisects the Walpole Wilderness. This highway has to be kept clean for environmental reasons. I'm an ambassador for Keep Australia Beautiful. This is given out to drivers to help keep the environment clean. They then dispose of it beside the road.
He's lost count of the bags he's filled.
Bin it, but don't throw it.
And the hundreds of tonnes he's collected.
Average selection of half a bag. This would have been dumped in the bush by people who are travelling.
That picking up someone else's litter is a simple but profound act.
Now his selfless solo work has been recognised nationally. An award brings accolades, but there's still no government department willing to shoulder his load or the expense.
I spend myself $10,000 a year, so I spent $200,000.
But now, after the award, private sponsors are showing interest.
But we are chasing places like IGA, supermarkets that actually produce a lot, make benefit from much of this packaging.
And Clean Up Australia too.
They actually suggested that there might be some funds available to help support it.
Michael knows his time on the highway is finite. Do you think people are getting better?
Yes, I do. Not soon enough. Turning 80 this year, nothing is soon enough. So we do need it to hurry up.
The power of one, working to start a chain reaction. Mark Bennett, ABC News, Walpole.
US President Donald Trump's tariff threats have put many countries on tenterhooks, including Australia. It comes as Australia prepares to export dried red papaya to the US for the first time. The new market is showing potential for the papaya industry while solving a waste problem.
These papayas are going on a long journey, from Queensland's Atherton tablelands to the United States. They're part of the first trial to export red papaya as dried fruit. It's been an ambitious undertaking ever since the opportunity first came knocking.
For us, that was like the opening of the most amazing magical door.
And through that door was an Australian first project.
We got an export order from Trader Joe's in the US. So at the moment our main focus is drying papaya because the order was way more bigger than what we ever expected it to be.
Trader Joe's is a US grocery store chain that focuses on organic produce and has nearly 600 shop fronts across the country. Fruit dryer Mariba Orchards has struck a deal worth nearly $1 million Australian to send 360,000 packets of dried red papaya to be stocked in all those stores. Melbourne-based owner Milton Levine was the one who envisioned that doorway to America. He negotiated with the supermarket giant for nearly 2 years to make it happen.
If you get into a Trader Joe's store, you know, no matter how you swing it, it's a big deal.
The biggest challenge would be establishing more of a market for dried papaya. The fruit's air-dried with no preservatives or added sugar and has a very low water content so it can keep. Milton Levine says that gives the fruit a more fibrous look and texture than other dried fruit, and a different taste too.
You know, people are not used to eating dried red papaya, so it's something new, it's something different, but it's something which, you know, when people do eat it, and we've had a lot of positive feedback, a lot of emails, a lot of text messages from people all over the United States saying that it's really great and they really love it.
This trial needed to turn 230 tonnes of fresh papaya into 15 tonnes of dried fruit. Trudy Bezadenhout has been in charge of making sure that happens.
They get peeled, de-seeded, sliced, we put them on trays, goes into trolleys, and then the trolleys are placed into dehydrators that extracts the humidity out of the fruit. They're in the drying room for approximately 28 hours. When they come out, they should be soft like a marshmallow. We take them off the trays, seal them in plastic bags and containers until they're ready for packing. I think value adding is definitely the way to go, and also we are very limited in Australia. We need to look to export. Yes, our wages are high, yes, our cost of production is high, but we can compete. We can compete. In our case, with a fully natural product.
That's all we have for now. Thank you all for watching. Wish you all a very pleasant day.
Creating a news agenda that reflects an unbiased view of Asian current affairs without relying on external news sources. Asia Vision, Asian news through Asian eyes.